Hope everyone is doing well, moving through this potent, powerful Aquarius full moon. Hope the Mercury retrograde has been treating you well. With this retrograde, I haven't. I've been doing quite a big detox, and I haven't been really on a social media platform, or I haven't been recording those daily, weekly readings. I apologize for that. I'm still in Japan. Every time that I come visit my hometown, Japan, I go through this phase of reset and realignment. And I haven't really been on it, and I'm taking a conscious break from the social media realm, and I've been visiting a lot of shrines and temples and hot springs and nature to reset and realign myself. And then I hope same kind of realignment has been happening for you too, because this is quite a significant one. This last full moon that happened at 27 degrees, squaring Uranus, and now Saturn and Jupiter are in square still, right? The moment of that Jupiter Saturn square, Mars was still close to the Jupiter, and Venus was involved. Venus is opposing Saturn, and now Mars and Venus are coming to be in square with one another, and Jupiter and Mars will be continuing to be in square till next month, till September. And when it comes to square of that personal planets, Venus and Mars, something is right. The square is kind of an inner battle. It's the cord cutting energy, and it holds very creative aspect whenever Mars and Venus come to speak to each other. The energy of creative tension can happen, right? It can be tension when it comes to relationships, or tension between, right, because Venus is still talking to Saturn, and a lot of square energy has been present. So a lot of tension between the old versus new is happening within us, outside of us. And this Venus Mars square holds a great potential to really create a new pattern, right? This is the time to create the new pathway within our mind, because Mercury is still in retrograde. Mercury is talking with Chiron and Mars as well. Chiron Mercury alignment in trine holds a great potential to heal something within our mental realm. We are turning our pain into power. We are turning our sad stories into the victorious one. We have all the powers to shift that, right? Any kind of a storyline that we are living, this is a time to know that we are the creators of our own stories of our lives, and we have to start writing new stories and creating new feelings, and start changing this storyline within our mind. And when we change our storyline within our mind, we can start feeling differently. We can start feeling more excited for this great changes that's coming, that we're creating. That's right. We're never uh, we're never a victim. We're never we can sometimes be in the like passenger seat, and we can feel like the universe is just driving us and we don't have no control over our lives. And sometimes we can feel like that, but we are always behind our wheel. We are always on a driving seat, and we are the ones who are driving our lives to this direction and the other directions, right? So this is the time that we are claiming our power over our lives and choose not to be that victim or choose not to be the vulnerable one, but we have all the powers to shift and turn and create the epic life story, right? I always say that, but this is really the moment. Now Saturn and Jupiter square, right? Those two planets are rules our society and rules our world, right? It's the energy of the world. It's the energy of the collective. This cycle between Jupiter and Saturn always meet in conjunction every 20 years or so. They have this energies of every 20 years they come together. Last time when they came together, that's like the new moon energy between Saturn and Jupiter. That happened on winter solstice, December solstice of 2020. That great conjunction happened at 0 degrees of Aquarius. That was a very significant point of the new beginning of the era of the air, and then that was the beginning initiation point of the new era of the next 200 years. Up to that point, the last 200 years, Jupiter and whenever Jupiter and Saturn came together, they met in earth signs. So they were that was the era of the earth, except 1980-81 when they came together. They met in Libra. That was a wobbly time, right? End of one era and the beginning of the right shifting into the new era. So that happened in the air sign in 1980, but coming back to that 2020 on December 21st, around then they met at 0 degrees of Aquarius. Now, as this is the first square since they met, Jupiter and Saturn met, and they traveled together, and this is the first square point between Jupiter and Saturn. That first squaring point is a significant point of change, implementing or reflecting how much of our life has shifted and changed since 2020, but are we still living under certain old paradigms and old programs and old ways of doing and thinking and feeling and all of that? If we are still operating under that old paradigm, this is a significant point to create shift. And this Jupiter Saturn square is only the first one. So this square energy, we're gonna live through the whole 2024 up to the early summer until June, the last time, the final third square between Jupiter and Saturn happens in June of 2025. I believe it was June. And this is the first square that just happened over this weekend. The next square between Saturn and Jupiter happens around the Christmas time, December 24th, and then the third square will happen early next year. So throughout this whole year, we are going through this massive reflecting point, realigning point, recutting of the old cord and old paradigm and old ideology and old ideas, ideas of ourselves, ideas about the world, about the society, about the whole rules and regulations and um, up to, it reach it's including the way how the society is operating and politics and all of that included. We are moving through a massive time of shift and changes, and this is the time period we are under. This first square is a great time to set, be clear on our intention, right? Sometimes, societal energy is a reflection of our individuals and individualistic energies as well, right? We each create the energies of the world, of the society, and sometimes the energy of the world is too far out and away from our dream world. But it's what we can do is to work on our own selves. So this is the time to shift and discern, because we are right, we the sun is at 29 degrees of Leo right now. Soon the sun will ingress into Virgo. As the sun moves from that 29 degrees to 0 degree, it's creating a yard aspect between Neptune and Pluto, right? Neptune, Pluto, Sun, Yod. This Sun, 29 degrees and 0 degrees of Leo, Virgo axis is the point where Mercury moved through already 2 times, and it created this finger of God. Yod aspect is always holds very faded energy. God, something bigger and greater, is pointing a finger at us, to this world, and asking us, what are you going to do with this energy? This is the moment of very significant faded time. If we use this energy wisely, we can pivot and turn and shift our direction, shift our own selves, shift the way that we are operating, and we can redirect our energy and start walking a new path that aligns with our higher path, right? That kind of very significant pivot is happening, turning is happening, realignment is happening. And as the sun ingresses into Virgo, and Mercury is gonna stop retrograding next week on the 25th, I remember. And once Mercury stations direct, Mercury will move back into Virgo, right? Virgo energy, they rule our intestines. In medical astrology, they govern our intestines. And what do intestines do in our physical body is that they discern, right? They discern and discriminate what is essential and what is poisonous, what is medicinal and what is poisonous, right? And then what is no longer necessary for our body, they push out as peas and as pee and poop, right? They eliminate those toxics out of our body. That's the small intestines and large intestines do within our body. Like that, Virgo energy is the energy of that kind of discernment and choosing to hold on to what is essential to us, that is more aligned with our higher truth, that energy of freedom, energy of peace and love and compassion, an energy of uplifting light energy, right? Playful, joyful energies. Those, they are the energies that belong to our spirit, and this is a time that we let go of all the attachments, all the clinging, all the unnecessary old patterns of that keeps us trapped, that keeps us trapped in that ego driven mind, and right, the humanness. I mean, humanness is beautiful. Of course we are human. That's like that's a fate we can never escape from until we die. But even within this physical body, we can become more like Buddha body, more enlightened like beings, right? Uh, that's possible. And the more that we move away from the era of the earth into the era of the air, this is associated with the era of Aquarius and new age of Aquarius, and informations and air moves so fast and so quick. And in the past, maybe all the right enlightened beings, they kind of chose to go into their to the mountains, and they go into the cave, and they meditated for a month, and they fasted, and they had to go through all those ritualistic things to get to that state of alignment. And but I think that the age is shifting, right? We are evolving, and everything is fast, so quick, right? Children, they know how to deal with those computers and technologies and AIs and crazy fast, right? Communication across the world, the information moving through across the planet. Everything is moving faster now. At the same time, it's like, you know, the conscious awakening is happening more and more on a human level, earth level, cosmic level. Anyway, I don't know where I am going, but this is a very important time to discern, to eliminate certain that ego-driven humanness, attachments, right, illusions and delusions, and we want to really be clear on what is most essential to each of us. I am not suggesting to walk on the path of spirituality is the right path to take, right? It's everybody has our own path. Everybody's path is the right path, right? But I think it's important for us to know what is most essential and what feels right to us, what feels happy to us, and it's time to choose to walk the path which creates more ease and peace and harmony and freedom. And that path may be different from the societal norm, or it might be different from the ideas of what happiness is, right? Society constructed norms that we were told after generations after generations after generations. I think those ideas are changing too, because I see and I believe there's so many people suffering because they feel like they don't fit into those ideas of happiness, right? That we were told, like abundance, get a, go to good school, get a good job, work hard, right? Find a partner, get married, have children, and be happy. Certain ideas are considered as happiness, right? Material stability, whatever that is. And sometimes we struggle if we are not meeting that standard, or we struggle if we don't have certain things, or whatever that is. I think we are changing, and those ideas has to evolve, and there is no right path to live, and this is the time to really be authentic and seek to find our own happiness, and that might not meet the standard, and that's good. The more that we don't meet those standards, the better it is, because we are here to break those old norms and no old whatever that, right? Whatever that ideas that we were told to live along, right? Um, yes, this is a time Uranus is activated. Uranus activation is always the energies of this rebel, right? Rebelling against those outdated, old things, right? Uranus is always this futuristic, eccentric ideas of this going on our way. Anyway, I'm going kind of along, but Uranus is going to continue to be active because Sun is still in square with Uranus, and next the new moon, Virgo new moon, will be in conjunction. No, Uranus. That next new moon is not going to be in conjunction with Uranus, but this next new moon will happen right under that energy of Uranus stationed. Uranus will go retrograde on September 1st, and new moon will happen on September 2nd. On September 1st, not only Uranus gonna turn retrograde, but Pluto will also dips back. Pluto is right now moving through this retrograde phase, and Pluto will dip back into Capricorn one last time in our lifetime. In almost 250 years, Pluto will not gonna come back into Capricorn, right? One last time, this Pluto dipping back into 29 degrees of Capricorn, and Pluto will stay in Capricorn till November 19th of this year. That will activate a lot of old, outdated concentration of power structure. A lot of that concentrated power structure will impose the idea of control, a lot of patriarchal, I don't necessarily like that patriarchal. It's not about men versus women, but that kind of this one, the world order, world government, this power structure behind the veil of the unseen that's controlling the world. They can try to do anything, to be honest, right? We never know what's gonna happen, but they can create a lot of control, and they're gonna kind of, a lot of shitty mess are happening behind the veil, and including this political craziness of left and right and all that. I don't really talk about the politics, but I wish we can, there are great leaders behind that, just this red and blue, left and right zone, and then I wish more people are aware of that and support those people who are beyond this dualistic polarized energies that's very strongly present within the United States. But anyway, again and again, we gotta keep expanding our awareness to see the bigger horizon and bigger world. and we gotta choose to continue to rebel against the old norm and be the force of change. And we must, and we have to be the force of change within us first, right? This is the time that we want to act different, we want to think different, we want to react differently, we want to behave differently, we want to start creating that new patterns within us so we can be less reactive and we can choose to be in the peaceful center regardless of what is happening outside of us. And the more of us choose to sit in that peace center, the cosmic center, um, that center, the cosmic center that lies within all of us, it's like the center point of the whole entire eternity. The whole world, the whole cosmos spins around our own center, finding our own selves as gigantic, as immense, right? As that, and that center of the whole eternity lies within each of us. Can we stay in that center? As long as we stay in that center, the center of the storm, whatever that storm is, crazy things happens, we can choose to sit in that, right, peace center where we are not affected by even our crazy mind, right? All of that. So this is a time that we want to kind of set an intention, because the traveling moon now in Aries crossing over North Node, Dragon head. And this is a time that we want to talk to the dragons, and we want to talk to this higher dimensional creations and creative beings and the cosmos and the whole the energetic realm, to choose to keep our intention aligned, right? This is a time that we want to raise our own antenna to communicate with the higher dimensional beings and spheres and realms, and set an intention and state your intention into the cosmic realm, because the cosmos will, the universe is always listening to us. Whatever we are telling our mind, the cosmos is receiving, right? We are constantly communicating. So may we choose to keep our thinking patterns as positive as possible, as harmonious and peaceful and love filled as possible. So the universe will help us spread the energies of that ease and peace and harmony more and more and more. And we want to be that receiver, and we want to be that radio frequency, right, station. Each of us, may we be that station of that God, so we can receive and spread that energy of love and peace, and so that we can raise the frequency of the collective together. We each of us have massive powers of to transform the world. And so may we know that power, may we choose to stay connected, and may we stay connected to your deity, whether it's the dragon, whether it is the horse, whether it is your ancestral guardian angels, and whoever the God is, right? The universe, the stars, the sun, the nature, the sky, the mountains, the flower, the wind, right? Whatever that is, right? They're all, the spirits are everywhere, the support is everywhere, and may we choose to stay connected to those elements and divine spirits everywhere, living with us and supporting us. And yes, I wish you all the peace and beauty and love, harmony one love, one world. Thank you, thank you, thank you.